Hello, Broncos fans! The atmosphere behind the scenes is very hot and busy. The anticipation for the playoffs only increases the excitement in our hearts. I'll tell you everything that's happening, including the moves that are being made right now. But before I continue, make sure you've already hit the like button if you've been a Broncos fan for over 15 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. If possible, comment like this: Go Broncos! Let's go to the Super Bowl! Some fans don't believe this, but I believe it with all my heart. If you let us get there, it's over. We're going to run over them. Well, here's the deal. The Denver Broncos continue to make moves, and there's a lot to unpack. Despite having a bye week, the team continues to capture headlines, and recent developments give us a lot to talk about. Let's dive right into the heart of what's going on with our beloved Broncos, starting with the team's bold decision to cut wide receiver Josh Reynolds. For those who may not know, Reynolds was one of our most exciting acquisitions of the offseason. Coming from the Detroit Lions, he built a reputation as a reliable target with impressive separation stats, something the Broncos receiving corps desperately needed heading into the season. Reynolds showed promise, leading our group in separation in the first few weeks. Unfortunately, his momentum was derailed after suffering a broken finger in the game against the Las Vegas Raiders. To make matters worse, Reynolds was also involved in an off-field incident where his car was reportedly shot at multiple times, which likely added to his challenging circumstances. Now, some may wonder if the decision to let him go was related to these events. However, it appears the move reflects something much more significant: Sean Payton's growing confidence in the Broncos' young and dynamic receiving corps. Marvin Mims, for example, has been a revelation. His electrifying 93-yard touchdown this season, tying the longest in recent team history, showcased not just his speed, but his ability to change games single-handedly. Trey Franklin has also been emerging as a key player, and you can't overlook the consistency and talent of Courtland Sutton. Payton's belief in these younger players seems to underscore a shift in the Broncos' approach, one that prioritizes the future without compromising competitiveness. But the news isn't all rosy. The injury bug has bitten the team, and it's starting to raise serious concerns about our defensive depth. Safety Brandon Jones, who has been nothing short of phenomenal this season, went down with a groin injury in the middle of the last game. If you missed it, you might not be alone. There was little mention of his status during post-game press conferences. Jones, a free agent acquisition this offseason, has been pivotal for the Broncos, stepping into the void left by Justin Simmons with remarkable ease. His ability to neutralize opposing quarterbacks has been a game-changer. Let's not forget that during his time in Miami, Jones was among the league's top-rated safeties according to Pro Football Focus. Losing him, even temporarily, could be a huge blow to our defense. In his absence, Devin Key stepped in, but the drop-off was noticeable. Key, an undrafted player from Western Kentucky, simply doesn't bring the same level of experience or impact. This was painfully evident as our defense struggled, allowing nearly 400 yards in the game, a stark contrast to the 190 yards we've been averaging when fully healthy. The difference is night and day, and if Jones' injury sidelines him for an extended period, don't be surprised if the Broncos explore the waiver wire for reinforcements. Adding to the defensive challenges, injuries to other key players like Riley Moss have further exposed the team's vulnerability. With Moss out, we've seen just how crucial he is to stabilizing our secondary. The combination of missing personnel has made our defense less formidable, and while backups like Key and others are giving their best, the gap in quality is undeniable. Even more alarming is how much worse our defense looked against a backup quarterback like Jameis Winston. If the Broncos want to maintain their momentum and make a serious playoff push, shoring up this unit must be a priority. But let's shift back to the positives, because there's a lot to celebrate. The Broncos' pass rushing depth is arguably one of the best in the league. Nick Benito, for instance, has been a revelation. Did you know he has more sacks this season than big-name stars like Myles Garrett and TJ Watt? That's no small feat. The depth doesn't stop there. Jonathan Cooper, Jonah Ellis, and Drew Sanders have all made significant contributions. The rotation of these players has allowed the Broncos to maintain a relentless pass rush, keeping opposing offenses on their toes. One standout stat that illustrates this depth: Jonah Ellis, despite sharing snaps with players like Benito and Cooper, has already racked up 5 sacks in limited opportunities. His ability to maximize his impact in a crowded rotation speaks volumes about the talent this team has cultivated. The Broncos' ability to develop and deploy these players efficiently is a testament to the organization's commitment to building through the draft. And let's not forget George Payton's role in all of this. The GM has faced his share of criticism, particularly for the Russell Wilson trade, but his knack for identifying talent is undeniable. From drafting stars like Marvin Mims and Pat Surtain to finding gems like Quinn Meinerz and Nick Benito, Payton has methodically built a a roster that's both young and hungry. His strategy has positioned the Broncos not just for immediate success, but also for sustained competitiveness in the coming years. The Broncos are on the cusp of making their first playoff appearance in 8 years, and it's clear that this team has been rebuilt the right way. But what do you think, Broncos country? Are you confident in this young receiving core? How worried are you about the injuries on defense? Let me know your thoughts, and stick around because there's plenty more to discuss about this exciting season. The depth and talent on this Broncos roster don't stop at the names we've already mentioned. This team has waves of playmakers, and every single one of them has played a crucial role in getting the Broncos to where they are now. From the top of the draft board to undrafted free agents, Denver is seeing contributions across the board. Take Marvin Mims as a prime example. Not only is he delivering as a wide receiver, but he's also proving to be a dynamic weapon on special teams. His explosive speed and playmaking ability have made him a difference maker in multiple phases of the game, something we've lacked in recent years. And let's talk about the defense for a moment. Jonathan Cooper, who we had to extend because of his consistent production, continues to shine. Cooper has been relentless this season, and while his stats might not leap off the page, his presence on the field is undeniable. He's on pace for a stellar year, and when paired with guys like Nick Benito and Jonah Ellis, you can see how this Broncos defense has the potential to dominate for years to come. Speaking of Ellis, can we just take a second to appreciate the impact he's made in his rookie year? Despite limited opportunities, Ellis has managed to rack up 5 sacks. Compare that to other rookies across the league, and it's clear that Ellis is outperforming expectations. What's even more impressive is that he's doing this while sharing snaps with a stacked lineup of pass rushers. Guys like Benito, Cooper, and even Drew Sanders, who is set to return soon, make it nearly impossible for opposing offenses to catch a break. The Broncos' ability to hit on these draft picks cannot be overstated. In today's NFL, finding 1 or 2 solid starters from a draft class is considered a win. But Denver is seeing potential star power from several players in a single draft. Marvin Mims, Jonah Ellis, Riley Moss, and even late-round and undrafted guys like Jaquan McMillian and Domra Tillman are all contributing in meaningful ways. It's a testament to George Payton's ability to scout and Sean Payton's skill in developing young talent. Even the free agent signings have been home runs. Zach Allen, DJ Jones, and Brandon Jones were brought in to shore up areas of weakness, and they've all exceeded expectations. Brandon Jones, in particular, has been a standout in the secondary, providing stability and playmaking ability that have been crucial to the team's success. Losing him to injury, even temporarily, would be a huge setback, but it's clear that this team is built to adapt and overcome. And let's not forget the offensive side of the ball. The resurgence of the Broncos offense has been one of the season's most exciting storylines. Sean Payton's scheme is starting to click, and players like Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims are thriving in it. Even with Josh Reynolds' departure, this receiving core looks poised to take another step forward. Payton's confidence in the group speaks volumes, and it's clear that he believes the pieces are in place for sustained success. Looking ahead, the Broncos are entering the most critical part of their season. With the playoffs in sight for the first time in nearly a decade, every game matters. The team is riding a wave of momentum, and fans have every reason to believe this squad can make a serious run. The foundation has been laid, and now it's about executing down the stretch. Broncos country, the road ahead is both exciting and nerve-wracking. Injuries will test the depth of this roster, but the talent is there to overcome any obstacle. What's your take on the state of the team? Are you as impressed as I am with the contributions from our young stars? How do you feel about Sean Payton's confidence in the receiving core? And do you think the Broncos have what it takes to not only make the playoffs, but make some noise once they get there? Let's keep the conversation going. And as always, stay tuned because there's so much more to discuss about this incredible season.